is down, but they're looking for the killer blow. That's it, back of the end zone. Dagger! He's looking. Jamil's coming. He's moving. He's moving. He's got him. He's got him. It was caught, but Jed has called the sack. Incomplete. He called the sack. It's 2 points to the Hammerhead. An unbelievable sack there by Jamil. This is the last game of the day. It's caught and it's in. It's a touchdown.
That's it.
It's a touchdown. The last play of the game. The clock is at zeros. That's it. Your Swansea Hammerheads are advancing to the Division 1 final, having knocked off the 2 seed and having knocked off the 1 seed. Alan Young, you look absolutely stunned.
What do you mean by live? Genuine live?
Yes. We're broadcasting.
Hello, radio!
And now, a new episode of The Way We HNC It.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Way They HNC It. And I am not Bez. I have been left in control of the podcast for yet the second time, so you must trust me. Thanks, Bez. But I'm not alone. We have got some counterparts tonight to talk some flag football shenanigans. And I get the pleasure of hearing Mr. Greg Sim. Hi, Greg.
How are we doing?
It's lovely to see you again. I've not seen you what feels like forever.
And clearly, Bess has got more trust in you than he does in me because he's given you the keys.
He has. He's literally given me the keys. Literally.
He must have learned his lesson from letting me and Tom loose on this show like a couple of years back. Just never been again.
You got to remember, he's a stats man. He must have looked at the stats and went, "Oh, that last episode tree done that got millions of hits. Let's give it back to him again." You know. I think that was more of
the more technically proficient of the two.
I doubt that. I think it was the Fraser effect, probably, but it's all good. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Greg. And we have a bit of a mercenary with us tonight, a chieftain, you know, flagging Iron Man champion. What else can I add to that list, Greg? This is where I'm not Bez. I haven't got the mastermind of.
What else? I'm almost certain this man has a Flag in New Year title to his name.
There we go.
He has got a HNC division title to his name. He is. Oh, is it national semi-finalist? Perhaps.
Maybe
yes.
We can ask him. He can make up his own title. Yeah.
For a final.
Yeah.
But yes, we have the esteemed quarterback for the Grangemouth Broncos. We have Scott Mckenzie with us. Scooter.
Hi guys, how you doing? Thanks very much for that.
It's all right. We probably butchered it. You know, we're not Bez. You know, we do our best journalism and things, but you know, we'll get better. We'll make the picture a bit prettier when we advertise the episode. We promise.
It was tree space after the first couple of things that he said. He quickly ran out of it to say that he did not know your accolades.
Yeah, I know Scooter is just one of my favourite QBs to watch and play against and now join with, and that Scooter is just my Scooter. The accolades, don't need them. He's just a good guy.
That's all that really matters.
Good guy in flag. Well, thank you very much, Scooter, for coming to join us, because that obviously means we are going to be talking a little bit of flag and Iron Man today. You know, because some of us have won it before, gentlemen, haven't you both? I know, well, Greg, did you win it?
No, thank you. Got beaten
oh, no, you didn't, did you? Yeah. So, you know, we can talk about Scott, yeah.
Got beaten in the final by London Smoke, who, you know, just bringing it back round is who the Broncos beat in.
Bloody Smoke.
Spoiler alert, beating this final. So they managed to get revenge for us.
We'll take that.
However, I'm sure there was some pretty selfish reasons for wanting to beat them and get the glory for himself. So, no, it's good to see you. You're looking well, and shall we just get into it?
I think so. I think it is time for, well, us with the news. I won't put the ownership on you, Greg. We can go us with the news because we can all cover it together, right? And then a jingle plays, Bez. Yep, Bez. Thank you very much, Bez. There was an intro. Hopefully you edited and put that in. If you didn't, then that was just a blank silence for a couple seconds. Good job, Bez. Yeah, let's do. We've got some highlights. We've got some little bits and bobs. So the first one probably we'll talk about is we now have official Way the HNC podcast flags available soon, or available now. If you want to get a little bit of white swag, you might have saw. I've wore them already. I think Bez has got them. You got a set, Greg? Are you?
I do not have a set, no. I believe it's one of the oil cats. I think it's Simon. Managed to get these kind of organised, and Bez was essentially the prototypes. So
okay. Well,
it was something he revealed at Flagging New Year, but they're actually, I was really impressed by these. They are actually of a pretty good quality as well.
Yeah, they're good.
I don't know why I'm sounding too surprised.
But
the
best of gear, that's it.
No, they are really good, and I've not checked out to see if there's more than the one design, but I'm sure
Bez.
The link to them up on the website, so you will be able to see all the goodies up there.
Yeah.
As well as any previous merch that we've had up there.
Yeah, we know Bez will come out with some sort of like funky design, because he gave them to me on the day of flagging. What was the one flagging Iron Man we had? And because obviously I was playing Bez, we were competing in the podcast bowl, just between the two of us, and it was a close game. We almost got them. But I put them on especially for that game. I put on my little HNC at flags. It made no difference to my performance levels, but I felt good wearing them. So,
did he get you? Did he sack you?
Don't be silly. He couldn't have got me.
Double figures.
No, he didn't actually get me at all. No, it was a good game. I don't think I got sacked at all in that game. I don't think so. Bez will probably tell you differently, because he'll be like, I remember that, and I couldn't tell you what I had for my dinner yesterday, Greg. So I can't remember if he sacked me. I don't think so. Bez is one of those guys that's.
I know there's like a steak there or something, don't we?
Oh, 100%. So yes, those are available. And yeah, you can get your hands on some cheeky little HNC podcasts. There's a little plug out the way for us. But we do actually have some other flag news about something happening in Ireland this weekend.
Indeed. So we've mentioned it briefly on the podcast, and I mean briefly. But the Run the World series is going across to Dublin Sunday the 10th of March. So this is it's a tournament, isn't it?
I think it's a tournament. Yeah, I know a little bit about it, because I heard about it when is it King Bowl? I had something to do with it at one point. I think it was.
Yeah. So teams coming from all across Europe to obviously compete within this. There should be some pretty decent promotion for it across sort of Facebook and what have you. Was there any intrigue from the Philly side of things, Scooter, at all?
No, I don't think so. Not this year. There's a lot of weddings and stuff happening at the Grangemouth club, so there's not going to be a lot of tournaments this year for us, unfortunately.
Fair enough. But obviously, with the Euros being in Ireland last year as well, there's obviously this really fantastic push for flag football over in Ireland at the minute, which there's this fun fact that he has sent across to me, was that last weekend you had the Belfast Trojans versus the South Dublin Panthers in what was actually their first competitive match in female flag football. The very first game happened last weekend, so hopefully, again, this can be something else that's quite high profile to help boost the sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I need a thesaurus.
Flag football promotion in Ireland to capture the nation and what the Olympic sport is going to offer to the country of Ireland, and bring up the youthful talent of the next generation of stars that could star in the NFL in the future. That okay?
It's excessive, but I love it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I had to go deep into my thesaurus and words to help you there, Greg. Hope that.
You really did. You really did. And it is much appreciated. But yeah, it helped drive the enthusiasm for the sport. I was just trying to keep it nice and simple. But yeah, there you go. So keep an eye out on the social channels for that. It should be something that there should be quite a bit of content coming from that as well. I believe it's going to be covered pretty well.
Yeah, you've got a few guys. Like obviously, if it's getting coverage from like we know the UK Dukes and Kenny, then obviously the Flag Football Life, and then the governing body of Ireland. Those guys are really up on like all their content in regards to being able to produce stuff. We obviously noticed it at the Euros, and they put out something that was pretty decent. So let's hope we get a lot of content at the back of it. You know, it's publicity. That's what the sport needs: is marketing, publicity, content in front of people to kind of grow it. But so you'd hope so. You know, this is kind of the next. We know that these things happen in our country, but we need to be talking about these things so more people know about it, Greg. So
So speaking of talking about it, am I right in thinking it's like a series of events as well? So is there more of these planned, obviously across Europe?
Greg, now you're pushing my journalistic nature. This is where Bez is he's our leader, right? He's our overarching lord of HNC Flag Football podcast and information. I think so is the answer. When you go into the Flag Football Life, obviously Facebook page and get information, there's a lot of like things that are particularly stateside. There's like Mexico, or King Bowl was one. I don't know how it works in regards to like a series. Like, do they roll over? Is it points? Is it tournament? I'm not too sure, but I think it's like tournaments that are held collectively throughout that's ran by them to create opportunity. But I'm not too sure about much else more than that. Sorry, Bez. I should really be listening.
The deer in headlights look that I got when I asked that question.
Yep. I'll make sure to clip that and send it to Bez of my sheer shock of being thrown under a bus. I appreciate that, Greg. But talking about women's flag football, as a little side note, because we've got Scooter here, a little birdie told me that there's a new female flag football team making their way to Grangemouth, Greg, on Saturday.
There is, yes. The Edinburgh University Kelpies are coming to Grangemouth for a joint training session with the Phillies.
There you go.
They've been on the go for maybe a year now, probably not quite. They've been training in the background. But yeah, we're looking forward to meeting them on Saturday and seeing how we get on.
Is there a little bit of jealousy there that they've taken the Kelpies as their name? That's obviously just the prime sort of name for a Grangemouth side.
There is a little bit.
I love that. So the victor of this game, or like a scrimmage, is that what's going to come down? It's down to the death of who gets the Kelpies name.
Well, we've been the Phillies for a while, so I think we'll keep that.
Surely there's got to be like the horseshoe bowl or something, just like get like a golden horseshoe, and that gets, how obviously Bez has the little emerald that gets played for between ourselves and the Raptors. There you go. That an annual tradition is absolutely right there.
Manifest, Greg. I love this. We're manifesting. I'm all for it. But yeah, I heard that it came through the Facebook Messenger, and I seen it pop up. I was like, oh, that's something I could bring to the table tonight. Because remember, I think it was Bez shared the post, or we spoke about it. Oh, early on, last year, we seen the name pop up. New flag football team Kelpies. We're thinking, who's running that? But yeah, it's university, so that'll be exciting. Okay, so I'm there on Saturday, Greg. So I'll get some inside scoop to report back next week.
Fantastic. Great.
Is it at training, Scott? Is it at the same time we're training?
At the same time as training, so
perfect.
Yeah, I'll be on the pitch right next to you guys.
So Tree should be busy, acclimating to his new team and kind of learning an offense and kind of learning all that. But
I'm a good journalist and a podcaster, and I'll be totally looking on to get information about that. Yep.
Good journalist, terrible teammate.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what these influencers do, Craig, right?
All for the show.
Exactly. I'll be sure to wear the best of gear. I'll be looking great. Playing terrible. Although, to be fair, I've been feeling a little bit more comfortable recently again, Greg. I was feeling bad for a while, but I'm feeling like I've got the juices back. when I'm playing again. So I'm looking forward to training again. Right. Next news article, Greg. We're going to touch base on it, I think. Are we touching base on it? BAFA, are we allowed to? Or are we saving all our... Are we just building up this like catalogue of tinfoil hat conspiracies? Or what are we... I don't think we've spoken about it since the last episode.
We know fine with yourself and Mr. Berry that there will be an overfill of conspiracy theories. So you're more than welcome to go to like touch on the subject.
We'll touch on it briefly.
We'll make sure that me and Stu are kind of rein you in so you don't go too far.
Yes. Do you remember my new role? My new job role that Bez gave me?
You know what? Did he do this when I wasn't here?
Yeah. It made me... I don't know the full title of it, but it's something like the BAFA Affairs Officer or something, where I keep up to the affairs of BAFA. And I just get to chime in my terrible thoughts about what's going on. But anyways...
Well, there you go. We'll get a little jingle. We'll get a little BAFA jingle for you. You can have... we'll give you two... It's going to be a shorter show tonight. Because we're a little bit more chaotic, so we've got to kind of rein it in a touch. So you can get 90 seconds off the pop.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we're in. Right, okay, first thing, the leader of our BAFA is now out, unfortunately. Handed in... Was it a resignation? Was that the right word? Yeah, I think it was resignation, so we no longer have a leader. So if that's you out there and you want to lead BAFA to the promised land, get your applications in now and guide us to the future. Tom Clark, I see you, buddy.
Being rudderless and leaderless seems familiar tonight.
So we need a new leader, apparently, and someone that knows something.
Rumor that that's what Bez is doing, and that's why he's not here. Is because he's preparing an application.
Oh, this is like the Masked Singer all over again. Like trying to work out like why is Rita Ora not in the panel? It's because she's taking part, and then later we got bumfuzzled that it wasn't. This is like Bez is not here because he's doing his application process for BAFA.
Well,
it all makes sense.
We're not just having a bumblebee as the CEO of BAFA. We've got to kind of guess who's actually making the decisions.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck, Bez. We love you, and it was nice knowing you. You're going to get grilled. It's not going to be a role that anybody wants, I don't think. It's going to be difficult and challenging, and I wish them the best of luck, whoever it is they find. I don't think it's an easy job to take, but we'll see. The new schedules came out. That's a little update. New schedule. I have no idea what's been affected. Not a Scooby-Doo. Do you guys know?
So is this like a version 2, or is this just the actual schedule?
Oh, the actual schedule. There was a little bit of hoo-ha. Now, I, as a Grangemouth Colt, can officially say on this podcast, on behalf of our team, specifically the Colts, the schedule is incredible. We can't thank you enough, and I can't wait to take part in the BAFA season. If you're a Mustang, you've just gave a massive middle finger to BAFA and go, that is shocking. So I keep telling Bethany to leave the Colts alone because I'm really pleased with the schedule and I'm happy with it. But the Mustangs aren't. So there's been a few people, I think the Chargers were a little bit thingy by it. I think there was a few others that were like, there'd be comments made and emails sent, but I don't know what happened. I'm still in the kind of inner circle-ish. I know they're disbanding the WhatsApp groups, but I'm still in there, Greg. And I believe it's been decided upon. I think it's okay, but I've not checked. I can't tell you whether the charges have changed, the Mustang. I have no idea. Greg Bez sent it like 20 minutes ago.
So keep an eye on your emails then, because there may well be some changes coming to the schedule near you.
Good call. Yeah.
I must admit that Aberdeen, the general feeling around the schedule has been positive because we're not the first game day, and therefore we managed to book the very first venue we went to, instead of having to go through something like 20 odd, 30 odd. And honestly,
let's go.
The difference in mood between Bez and Andy Keith is just it's very
that fills me with like just such chill vibes. I'm glad. But that's good. That's good. Good animosity, good vibes. I like animosity. Yeah, well, it's you're still gonna moan up there, a lot of years, Oh, I've got to travel. No.
But we get to go to a new game day.
Hey, that's true.
That's true.
Have
you ever been up to Keith before, Skewer?
I have been a few times. I do work all over the country, so I've been up there for work.
Ken's where he's
You'll
going.
find it's a beautiful, lovely, windy place.
Absolutely.
So on schedules then, Greg, let's get Scott's view on this. So the last time I spoke with Bez, we had a little gripe with the schedule, Mr. Scooter, about the Broncos and the Hornets always playing their 2 games early on in the season, pretty much back to back. Your view?
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan. I would much rather play them week 1 and then the last week of the season.
Said that as well.
It's always a tough game day against them, and you don't get much chance to adjust in between week 1 and week 2 when you play them that quick. It'd just be nice for a bit of space in between us.
Yeah.
So it's week 1 and week 2.
Yep.
I think so, yeah. It was the same. It happened last year as well, didn't it?
It's same as last year, yeah.
Well, I do remember it happening last year.
Why?
I'm thinking it was an anomaly, but
yeah, it's obviously been done for a reason. Like, I don't quite understand who's sliding money under the counter to go, right, let's just make this early and get it out of the way. Now, don't get me wrong. Do I fancy the Broncos' chances early on in the year? Bit of a change up in the Hornets lineup, a bit of momentum for Broncos. Yeah, it's a bit sexy. But would I love a last game day like shoot off going into the BAFA playoffs about who gets 1 and 2 seed? Sorry, Greg. Yeah, I'd love it.
100% agree with you, but this is where I think it probably came in, is that whoever was refereeing it, Dunfermline, was probably the one saying, let's get it early, so that way you don't have as much on the line if it's not as sort of nippy.
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you've done there, Greg. Okay.
Great fun.
Noted. That previous club of mine. Okay. So yeah, so if anyone, as Greg said, if you've got the BAFA schedule and you've made graphics for your team about 2 weeks ago, that's unfortunate. You'll have to do them again. And then if you just check them, make sure everything's as is. I believe the Colts game the Colts or Mustangs? Colts. I think Colts are hosting Division 1 week 1, isn't it? Yep. We are on the Sunday, apparently. Some place. I have no idea where it is, but we're hosting on the Sunday first game week, and I'm rather looking forward to it. I think we play Comets game 1, Mustangs 2, and then Silvercats in the 3rd game. I think I checked before I came on the podcast tonight, so that's all I know. But we'll come to BAFA a little bit later on in the show, Mr. Scooter, and I'll put you right on the spot for that one.
Yeah,
Other BAFA news, registrations are open, and you only have, let me get my actual diary out here, you have
16 days, I think it is.
14, 15, 16, arguably 15 days, because you'll need to print out the roster on the Friday, if that's still a thing. 15 days to get all your players registered and deal with, I don't get paid till the end of the month. Well, you're going to have to find your pocket money from somewhere, boys and girls. We need you to register as soon as possible, please. Do we know there's a different registration process now? I don't know if you guys know it. I think I know it, but
I don't know it. There was, I believe, Best did put something up that suggested
he did
or hinted at what the process was. However, my ability of scrolling through Facebook and finding it on the way we see it is definitely slower than the way that I'm able to talk.
Yep, keep talking. Yep, drag it.
I'm trying. I'm really trying, but doing this on my phone is horrific.
I got it. I'm ready. Right.
I've got it. On you go.
No, Greg. No, it's Greg with the news. It's just us with the news. But go for it.
Okay, so in an email sent to all clubs last night, BAFA has opened adult membership for the season. So, and this goes into quote marks here. So, good evening all. Thanks for your patience. Please be advised that prorated memberships reduced down to the length of time associated with strategic decision making, as above, are now available to purchase. Does that mean because we're already in March that we're only doing like a 6-7 month membership?
They might go back to normal. Is it not like November to November usually, or like?
Yeah, that's what normally October, November, because they normally get. That's like their thing for trying to get scheduled out early to try and avoid any complications.
Yeah, because I always used to mess up with the women's, like the renew. Do I do the women's one for last year? Do I renew it for the end of the season? I'm sure there was a bit of confusion around it over the years. So maybe,
yeah,
we can presume that is the answer. But
Yeah, so the small change that is referred to is annually, now the team squads will be cleared down. And in order to join a squad, you'll need to have the relevant membership first. So I assume that's you go and buy your flag membership.
I think it's a
Once
tenner,
you've
if I remember right.
purchased a membership, some extra info will then be required. You can find your team and apply to join your team. Manager or a system admin can add you to the squad. So there's some pretty bad grammar there.
Bit of a missing
But
comma.
you can then obviously apply to join your team in terms of their registration part of it, and then the team manager or whoever does the registrations for your team will then add you to the list for that season.
Super.
That's what I get from that email. Anyway, if it is slightly different, I apologise for the confusion, but
I think that's right.
very much so. If there's 15 days, get on it early, because if there is any complications, you don't want to be trying to do it on the Thursday, Friday night before the game day.
Oh, the website's crashing. Like last minute surge and a crash. Oh, you can play this weekend because of technicalities in the system, and then it just ruins everyone's year. Something's going to happen. So getting on the act. I haven't done it yet. I need to probably do it, but I think it's a tenner, Greg, for the BAFA membership, and 29 quid for like a club one or something. Don't know, can't remember.
Okay,
they can go work it out.
I look at it once a year, therefore I don't really take in the information properly. So it will be probably Wednesday night, not the Thursday or the Friday, that I go and do it, just to make sure I beat the server meltdown.
I see what you did there. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But other than that, I think that's my BAFA. Update. It was more than 90 seconds, but I think there's a few BAFA things that we're aware of happening just around the corner. But we'll come back. We'll go back in a wee circle before we finish. But while we have Scooter, we can talk about flagging Iron Man. And all we can say is, Scooter, how was your day of intense 6 to 7 persons squadded short format nonsense in Ravenscraig? How did it go? How was it? Apparently, obviously, it ended up well, but how was it in total?
That was great. Iron Man's always fun. We had quite a simple looking group at the start of the day, so we thought we'd get some rotation in, make sure we get guys nice and rested for going into the final stages of the day. We were quite confident, but Iron Man's always a good laugh, and ending up winning it, it made it feel a bit better.
Just to rub it in a wee bit, makes it feel a bit better. Well, you did score the most points out of any team in the group stage with 159 points, only conceding 26 score. Wowzers. So you had the best defense and the best offense coming out of your group. That is certainly a confidence filler. You had the Grangemouth Raptors, the Lincolnshire Longhorns, the Hammerhead Frenzy, the Wirral Vikings, and Fake Bats 2.0. So not a bad little group for you. I won't talk about my frigging group of death, but yours seems delightful compared to my group. But any games that stood out in the group stages? I mean, they all look relatively comfortable. 28-14 against the Raptors, a little bit of a prem matchup nowadays.
The Raptors game, they came out swinging, and it was our last group game of the day. We were switched off a little bit at the start of the game, but yeah, Renfrewshire, they've got some good players. You know what they're going to bring every time. They're going to try their best. We managed to just pull it out the bag in the end, a couple of scores. But yeah, it was good to kind of get us to switch on towards the end of the group before the quarterfinals.
Always need that wee bit of a scare. A wee better turn up in this next one.
Always helps.
Scooter, I must ask, and Trees put out that little stat of, you guys only conceded 26 in that group stage.
Yep.
Now, with it being Iron Man, you obviously had to kind of put yourself in the rotation on defense there, I'd imagine. Does that give you a little bit of whet the appetite for when it comes to league season, being like, 26 points, I can do something?
Absolutely not. I played maybe one half of defense in the first game of the day against the Fake Bats, and that was more than enough for me. So the guys that played defense for us absolutely bossed it.
It's like the guys are fine; they've got it.
Yeah, they can do that.
I love it. I wish I had that luxury. Because you had Sarah playing for you as well, didn't you? So it kind of helped having that extra player. We didn't, Greg. My Grangemouth Colts team, we were burst. We ended up only having 5 players in the last Rexy's game in the groups. It was not pretty. But keeping it Grangemouth today, the fan club had a good run out in the group stages. They ended up getting 2 wins and 3 losses in the group, which had the both London Smoke teams. So I think Fraser, Jimmy, and the gang had a pretty good outing in the group stage. I think they did a little bit better than they were expecting, and they had a lot of fun on the way doing it. We'll cover them in the group stages after the group stages because they made it out the group. Colts, we didn't make it out our group, unfortunately. We finished 5th with 1 win and 4 losses. But Greg, I was this close from getting a win over the Rexies. I was last play of the game, devastated to have not gotten that win over Rex in the last game of the day. And that would have maybe knocked them out as well because Reading ended up finishing 3rd. Oh, Greg's muted.
Sorry, I've got a cold, so I was just making sure I wasn't slipping all the way through it. But were you in offense that last little?
We were in offense. I had the ball driving up the field to win, and I'm not going to call it Billy Corner. Oh, I just did. He didn't look for the ball at the 5-yard line. Threw it to him. Wasn't even looking. So we could have had a chance to be even closer for the win. And that was the 3rd down. We lost that. But I threw a 4th down option pass, and it was, I can't remember who it was. It was Gary Elliott coming across covering, and Gary got his hand to it and tipped out, and that was for the win.
So basically what you're saying is on 4th down, game on the line, you tried to hand the ball off to someone else.
No, I threw the ball. No, I threw the ball. It was an option to me. Yeah.
Okay.
I threw the ball. And I thought, this will throw them off a little bit. You know? Well, you know how fast I am. I could have then ran the ball the length of the field and dipped it, Greg. Are you saying I couldn't have done that?
Well, I mean, I'm just questioning your choice to throw Gary Elliott's side of the field.
Mate, that's
on 4th down.
He might have not expected it. You know, Gary would have been, Tree's throwing the ball at my direction, and you know, maybe just would have got put off, right?
4th down, game on the line, Scooter, you know, Chieftain, HNC division winner, Ironman winner, Flag of New Year winner. Would you have been throwing it at Gary Elliott?
Is the full field not just Gary Elliott's side though?
Arms out. Good. See, I like you, Scooter. That's because we're teammates now, Greg. You ain't gonna get nothing from Scooter. So we almost bet them. Unfortunately, we came out with 1 win and 4 losses, but it was a good game. I think we kind of got a bit hammered by the Hammerheads, quite literally. But we gave a good game against Rexy. We were close against Reading, just allowed to the Bucks, and we beat the Waveney Wolves. It was a good day. I think it was the first time I got to play with a couple of the Colts guys like properly, Stevie, Cliff, and Duffy. So it was good to at least get some time with the other guys and get some reps in. But that was the first time me playing quarterback for a day since BAFA week 2 last year. So it was really nice to get back into the swing of things. So it was good. I think the only other group we've not really mentioned is Group A, which is the Sheffield Vipers. Topped the group. They had a really strong team. Hornets in 2nd, Outlaws were 3rd, Flag and Ballsy, Newcastle, and the Hornets were at the bottom. But yeah, the Vipers, they were stacked. Ended up winning their group. And it was pretty interesting group phase. But that meant the top 2 squads going through were Sheffield, Hornets, Hammerheads, Rexy, Smoke, the Broncos, Scooter, and the Renfrewshire Raptors were your top seeded teams. And who did Scooter play in the first round?
The Raptors went through because they had 12 more points. Difference.
Mm-hmm.
They'd actually scored less, but they conceded less. So that's how tight the margins were in that group.
Yeah, there wasn't much,
which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, any of them could have. It's just one win either side could have got that. Even Wirral just winning an extra game, they would have been in there as well. Yet they seen themselves going home.
Well, I mean, you look, they'd scored. They scored the same amount as the Longhorns.
Yeah.
Actually conceded less. So I mean, it's those small margins that in those sort of, especially those timed games, it's just
it always matters.
Such a great tournament is Iron Man, because it is that one that's just so hell for leather the whole day.
And it is the whole day, because like Flag in the Year was the first time, Greg, they did the longer format for the semis and the final, where this was literally 12 minutes, the usual format, all the way to the end, where every possession mattered, which is why it's so important to either look after the ball and don't throw to Gary Elliott, apparently.
I mean, it's good to see that you're learning and you're not throwing it just straight at Jules these days. So
that was years ago, Greg. Let it go, man. I've done it. Yeah. So
I mean, you can't be saying that Gary is the new Jules. Like that's just reckless.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm doing better. I'd like to think I'm getting better, Greg. You know, don't throw two Jules. It's in there. It's in there. So we'll go to the championship bracket. Since we have you, Scooter, we can walk you through your path. I think the first game of the day, it would have been a little bit of a nice one. Grangemouth versus the London Smoke 2, I think it was in your first game.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
You say that, but all the Smoke teams, they're all fast, you know, they're all athletes, and you've got to be switched on against them. We got the 2-score lead, and we didn't really give it up after that. Defence absolutely shut them down in the second half of that game. It was great.
Yeah, defence does win you championships. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Greg. If you can get that defence, even like a pick in this format, like that is massive in this format. Being able to get the ball back super quick and get that lead.
It's that thing of just forcing team. Like if you're 2 scores down, like fine, you need to make something happen. Whether that be a big play in offense or something in defense, like they've got to start taking more risks. So it's such a huge psychological thing.
Yeah.
So once you get that, yeah, confidence is high. And especially with a Broncos team that dangerous, that is not what you want to be doing. You guys a little bit of extra confidence and something to hold on to.
Yeah, and I think Scooter, you guys did what I like to do in this format is like you want to treat it as like 4 scores. So you get 2 scores in the first half, 2 scores in the second half, and stop them. And it was 4-2 in scores, 25-12. That's what you want. You want to have at least either 4-2, 4-3. And you should be near enough to win. So, not bad. I'm just looking. I'm actually really naive to say, Scooter, I totally know your path to the final, and I paid attention the whole time, and I stayed to watch after I got knocked out. But I spoke in the first game. But that then meant that you would come up against either Glasgow Hornets or the Swansea Hammerhead, which is not a matchup anybody ever wants to enjoy or come up against. I think this was Ash's last hooray for the Swansea Hammerheads before he makes the move over to Cardiff as well. And that was the Hornets winning 25-13 in the other matchup. So that gave you guys a wee Scotland face-to-face with the Hornets, which we'll come to in a second. Another end of the bracket, the Raptors, well, they ran into the Smoke, and Smoke did things. 28-0, unfortunately. And the top of the bracket, the Sheffield Vipers 33 and the Rexies Midnight Runners 8. And that was the end of the day for Rexy and Bez. But that led them to a lovely semi-final. We had the Glasgow Hornets against the Grangemouth Broncos, Mr. Scooter. I can't imagine that was fun to play in.
It never is playing the Hornets. It's always something. It's always something happening. But yeah, obviously Nicky wasn't playing with the Hornets, but
yeah,
they're still absolutely stacked. They've still got athletes everywhere. They've still got ballers, and their defense is fully GB talent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's daunting, isn't it? You kind of you just kind of look. Normally there's like a couple of matchups you quite fancy, even if it's quite talented defense. But you look at that, and you're just like, where we're going to start?
Yeah,
you know, Stoops at corner, he's so good at just biting down on clamping just soon at the catch point, and he's either, you either just get there before him and you're tackled, or he's in there either hitting it away or taking it up the other end of the field, and you end up having to chase him.
Aye, and Mac is the exact same.
Yeah. So it is an incredible defense.
Yeah.
But I guess not trying to lead you too much into saying something you probably don't want to do during pre-season. But I mean, anytime you kind of get a little result against like the Hornets or a division rival such as that, it must give you sort of confidence kind of going back into training and leading up towards the BAFA season.
Well, it does. Anytime you beat them, like you say, it gives you a wee boost. Again, there'll be a different team in week one, and in BAFA games, it's that longer format. Anything can happen, so you can't take too much away from it, but it does feel good beating them, regardless of who's in the field.
Because someone's got to beat them at some point. Because what is it, since 2020 they've been unbeaten in the National League?
Yeah, I think.
Obviously, in the regular season, we won't go too far into that, but I mean, obviously, regular season they've been a freight train in the HNC, which is frustrating for the rest of us, but it's impressive, and as we mentioned with that defense, it's difficult to see how teams are going to be able to score enough to kind of manage to derail that.
Yeah. Aye, they've been unstoppable up here before in this last couple of years.
It's one of those, you'll get a couple early cracks at it and something that we'll look forward to. Don't worry, I'm not going to try and get you to say something you shouldn't. We'll leave that to Tree. He can do it.
I'll do it.
He's not playing against them this year.
I've got no morals. I don't care. But that was a good victory. 19-14. I think Jules was leading the offense. So you always get some shenanigans with him. He's got an absolute arm. He's got arms, plural. That man can throw the ball very far distances. But he can certainly read the ball quite well from his basketball experience and stuff like that to at least still guide them with the guys up the field. So, I think the Hornets, it's not a full strength Hornet squad as we know, but they still have, the defense is enough to put them in a position to be successful. But you're right, offensively, you are missing like the head of Nicky, I suppose, at the end of the day, and you're losing Jules because obviously he's throwing the ball. So there is a little bit of change in the guard there. But still a good win for Grangemouth, though. They'll take that. You definitely will. And then the other one, again, I wasn't there, but it seemed spicy from the comments that I've heard. The London Smoke 21, Sheffield Vipers 20. Now, I heard through the grapevine that this was also quite a spicy little matchup, this one.
Did you get to watch any of it, Scooter?
Games are on at the exact same time, so I didn't. Yeah.
It instantly, as soon as you see there's 1 point in it, and especially with teams of that quality, you just know fine that would have been an absolute spectacle.
Yeah, I can't remember. Someone told me something about it, but unfortunately my brain's fogged out from there. But apparently it was a pretty good game from start to finish, Greg, all the way up to the last play or near the last sort of few minutes. But coming out 1 point victory. I think Sheffield, they were I think obviously they had our resident doctor, Mr. Liam Harper, playing. He was looking good and green when I saw him. He was obviously helping those guys come along. They had a few ringers in the Viper squad. That's not the Vipers that we'll see this season, because I think the Vipers are now paired, or they're now partnered, is maybe the word, with the Sheffield Giants for this up and coming season. So again, probably the last two are for a Vipers jersey, and at least for the foreseeable future. Hopefully the guys make a wee comeback in the future, or see what happens with obviously the city of Sheffield. I think it's a city, isn't it? And see if they make a comeback in the future. City? It's not a town.
It's definitely
a city.
It must be a city.
Even Dunfermline's a city, Anyway, so that set up a lovely spectacle for yourself, Mr. Scooter, to give us the lowdown. Other than just the simple, we beat them, get wrecked, London Smoke. We are now. This is like Scotland winning the World Cup. We only beat England. Was it the year after they won the World Cup? So we're national champions. So technically, Scooter, you are the current national BAFA champions because you beat the London Smoke. 21-18. Tell us about it. How was your final matchup? Makes me proud to go. Oh, how was it? We won.
No, great. It was great. Anytime you can finish the game against the London Smoke and not need to score to win, you've done well. Holding the ball with 4 minutes left in the clock and managing to run the clock out was great. As nice as it would be to get a walk-off score against them and win it, I'll take a win regardless.
Yeah, I think I was in a group chat at the time. I think it was you, Bo, was posting comments, and And I can't remember who was asking, but it's like, yeah, they just need to hold the ball and run the clock out now. I was like, oh, this is how this game's going to end up, because that's very unsmoke-like.
Yeah.
You know, normally they like to have their ball in their hands with their own destiny, but it's good to kind of have seen it went the other way. But certainly defensively, Scooter, I guess that's kind of, you guys kind of stepped up. Were you able to stop them? How was it sort of defensively against the smoke?
They went up a score, and they went for 2 on their first point after, and Liam picked it off. So they got, and then after that we went down the field, scored, and then scored again. And Fraser for the sideline gave us the shout to go for 2 and make it a 3-score game, and that ended up being the difference. To get that 9-point lead in tournament football, it's massive, eh?
As soon as you get that in that short format, any sort of advantage you can take, especially early in a game, you chew your hand off for it, because it just takes a slight mistake, and then the second half, a quick turnover, 4 and out, and then you're immediately up against it. Yeah, good call, Fraser. Yeah, but that's nice, man. 21-18. Flag and Ironman champions over the smoke. Whew, add that to the CV. But I guess that's going to give you guys the confidence going into the season. You know, you've come up against some, a lot of smoke players, the Hornets, and give yourselves a good showing for the beginning of the year with a really strong core group of players. So, definitely, I'd be feeling the confidence if I were you.
A wee bit of pressure, eh? After you win something, there's always a bit of pressure as well, but.
Oh, now you've got to defend it. Now you've put the pressure on yourself now. The defending champions are back again. That adds a little bit of spice to it next year, I suppose.
Aye.
Nice. Well, congratulations from the way the HNC it. And I think Greg's busy. But I guess, I'm just making sure that it's not just me saying, being a Grangemouth loyal Greg, the Aberdeen contingency are going, well done Broncos, right?
What was that? Sorry.
That's all right. So I was just saying congratulations to the Grangemouth Broncos from the way the HNC it team. But I felt very biased because I'm now Grangemouth, and I felt as though I wanted a counterpart to go, yeah, Tree, that's cool.
No, absolutely. We're definitely HNC loyal.
Just checking.
Certainly in this household, we are HNC loyal. So well done to everyone involved at the Broncos for that, and obviously everyone on the day, and those behind the scenes as well. So it's a massive achievement being able to win the Ironman, because it's such a slog of a day, but it's such a great tournament. It's why I think you're seeing the success of it every year. Everyone keeps coming back because they recognise just what a challenge it is, and to be able to win it is just such a huge achievement. So well done, guys.
Agreed. GG's.
Nice.
So we'll talk about the plate very quickly then. So the plate was contested between the Edinburgh Outlaws, the Bucks Wolves, the Glasgow Killer Bees, the Hammerhead Frenzy, the Fan Club, the Lincolnshire Longhorns, Flag and Ball Z, and the Reading Devils was your plate. And we'll keep continuing to talk about the Fan Club. The Fan Club was obviously Fraser Thompson, Jimmy Thompson, and a few of the sort of family. I think it was Bethany, Stuart, Katie, Yubo, and they're all fancy t-shirts. And they beat the Lincolnshire Longhorns 27-26 in their first group game, or for knockout stage game. And then they come up against the Flag and Ball Z, who actually went on to win the whole damn plate. But they made it all the way to the plate semi-final, which I think was a bit of a shock to them. But they seemed to have a lot of fun. And every single time I've seen Bethany talk about it, they were having fun and laughing and having a blast. So the Fan Club we weren't too sure of. It was kept under close wrap secret, Bez told us. And I think at the end of the weekend, or the end of the day, they had a bit of a good time, which is grand. The Reading Devils unfortunately fell to the Flag and Ball Z in that first round group stage to Flag and Ball Z 26-15. Flag and Ball Z then played the Fan Club 34-13, putting them into the final. And maybe, I don't even know if it's a surprise, if anything, but the Glasgow Killer Bees only lost up until the final of the plate 2 games. London Smoke 1 and London Smoke 2. Was the only 2 games they lost until they got to the plate final. But they beat the Hammerhead Frenzy 21-19, Bucks Wolves 22-13, and then unfortunately came up short in the Flag and Ball Z final 28-6. But big shout out to the Glasgow Killer Bees. That's obviously a great job for them. They had a mixed bunch of people playing that team from around the sort of the Glasgow entourage of, I think it was Willie, Robbie Menzies, I think it was Ainsley was in there, Youngie, I think maybe Claire was playing as well. I think maybe Abby, I can't remember. Abby was playing for Rexy. So they had a good, just a normal contingency of Killer Bees. So for me, looking on from a Div 1 perspective, that's pretty good going. I've got a little eye on them this year. They should be quite competitive like they were last year. So GG's to the Flag and Ball Zers for making the trip up as per usual and taking a little bit of silverware away, which is bro. What was the trophy, Scooter? They always do. Youngie always pulls something out the bag. I don't think there was a broadsword this week.
An anvil again for Ironman winners. Then a smaller one for the plate winners. But yeah.
So where does that belong? Who's got the? Have you got that in your back pocket?
I've not got a clue.
Oh, that if Fraser Thompson's nabbed that being in the fan club, or Jimmy, that'll be unbearable.
That's it. It goes into like the club's trophy.
That's it. I see.
No one ever sees it again. You go around to Jimmy's for a barbecue and there's just like the mantelpiece.
Yeah.
Trophy.
Scooter guided the offense against the BAFA national champions. Gets nothing but a tiny little medal. Scooter, go nick the anvil. Just say we told you so, and just like put it in like a shelf behind you. Nice. Is it quite a big thing? Like I've obviously, I've not. Greg's got closer than I have to holding it.
Yeah, it's relatively big. It's quite heavy. It's hard to pick up after a long day playing Ironman.
I bet it is. I will never know. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
That's why I didn't want to win it. Like I was tired after the whole day. I was like, you know what? I don't need that. Don't need that in the back pocket slowing me down any further.
I don't want to put in the car up to Aberdeen. It's mere miles and fuel. Right, well, GG's to everyone that took part of Flag and Ironman. Obviously, another year's gone by. It's another successful tournament sort of run. Flag and Ironman, Flag and New Year are sort of stalwarts to the start of the year. So cheers, Youngie, Scoff, and all the volunteers and everyone that makes it happen. We appreciate you very much for making it possible for us all to play some flag football during the wintry Scottish conditions. But talking about wintry flag football conditions, guys, it was the final of Winter League. Now, we will try and get on the next show, hopefully, a participant of the winning team the next time. We'll just do a quick little rundown, if that's all right, guys, before we kind of go into our wee BAFA prediction section of what obviously happened. So kind of sticking with the Grangemouth, again, I think, Scooter, you were there. I was there setting up pitches, and then I had to go to Edinburgh Zoo for the day. Yay. But Scooter, you were there. The Grangemouth Colts had an opportunity to win some Winter League's medals and gold and things. But came up a little bit short, unfortunately. Did you get a chance to watch the Colts at the weekend?
I did, started off well. We played Top Gun and got a win against Top Gun. And that gave them a chance to possibly win the tournament, like you say. Came up against the Killer Bees, and again they had a good run of form at Ironman, and that's continued through Winter League. They're a good side. They've got plenty of talent there. So that was a tough loss, but yeah, Winter League's been a much better experience for the Colts this year than it was last year.
Yeah, I think that's been the general consensus. I think just from reading between the lines as well, Scott, like group chats and stuff, it seems much more positive this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think Fraser has enjoyed playing quarterback.
I left him to it. Yeah, I prioritised training on the Saturday to give him Sunday. It's like, no, knock yourself out, Fraser. I'm going to work on my BAFA Div 1, preparations. You can guide the Colts on Sunday, mate. You can knock yourself out. He seems to have enjoyed it. Something different for him. Yeah.
And it's gave the rest of the Colts some good confidence as well. Everybody's made an improvement for last year at Winter League, so only good things.
That's what we like to hear. And I guess the big question for Greg is, how mental's been the Aberdeen internal WhatsApp group after their victorious Winter League exploits? Again, gaining back their championship. Has there been, we won Winter League, yay? Or is Andy Keith just enjoying making graphics?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I will be perfectly honest with you that there is a separate Silvers chat that I'm not a part of.
Oh, okay.
That I bet has been probably still going strong.
They're still on a bender since then.
There has been a little bit of overlap into the general chat, but yeah, no, fantastic achievement for them. You look at who participated on the finals day as well, and there's a good chunk of the guys and girls that have been that will be playing for Silvers this year as well as some guest appearances as well from those elsewhere. But it was a great achievement, and it's been really good to see them make sure that everyone's been getting a mention as well, a proper squad sort of achievement, because it has been something along the lines of 25, 26 people over the course of Winter League have contributed to that. So, that's a great testament to the sort of effort that everyone's put in. And yeah, fantastic achievement for them.
Couldn't agree more.
Second time the Silvers have won Winter League. So
yeah, it's becoming a bit of a thing.
Hopefully that's a good sign for the year ahead for them.
I would hope so.
See? And we'll kind of touch on that in a little bit as
well.
We
will, yeah. I think I'll touch on it later as well. I think the Silvercats, just in the years gone by in the BAFA Div 1, I've always said they have the ability and talent and coaching and experience now to do it. So is this it? Are we seeing the top two teams here? Is this our year? Who knows? Well, we'll get our predictions very shortly. I think me and Bez have done ours on the podcast, I think.
Can I ask a question though? Because surely the big talking point from Winter League this past week is the fact that the 16 out of 16, the 100%ers Top Gun, went 0-3 on the day. Like, what happened?
I wasn't there, Scooter. What happened?
They go into it with a points differential of 378, and then go minus 27.
Yeah, no idea.
They were definitely trying to win.
It's just quite an incredible sort of thing to see kind of happen. It was not something I was expecting, but
yeah.
Best to give out a quick shout out to youth as well. Their tree.
I was going to do the plate and then do youth, yeah.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. No, in fact, yes.
I mean, we could completely ignore the Renfrewshire Raptors, Greg, and the Chargers if you want. I mean, that's on you.
Well, they don't have the Emerald at the minute, so it's
it's all Mars. But yeah, there was a little round robin with the plate group. So we had the Renfrewshire Raptors, the West Lothian Chargers, the Border City Centurions, Newcastle Blackhawks, and the Cobras in the plate. And yes, we had the Cobras went 1-3 on the day, as well as the Blackhawks and the Centurions all went 1-3. So obviously they must have just been beating each other. The West Lothian Chargers ended up 3-1, and your plate champions are the Renfrewshire Raptors with a perfect 4-0 day at the weekend to take the wee plate trophy back to Renfrewshire. There you go. I mean, there's our Winter League for this year. We'll try and get someone on for the Silvercats. I think that's the plan, is to try and get someone on. And we'll just have a wee sort of breakdown of the whole entire year of Winter League, and then again a Silvercats outlook for BAFA Division 1 for them coming up soon as well. So we'll try and get a few people on before the start of the season and just get thoughts. And
considering it's our home club, we should be able to manage to try and rustle someone up.
It's who do we trust though? Yeah, who do we trust from that motley crew? That's a big. We trust Scooter. We like Scooter. Trustworthy. Get on the podcast. Say you're safe. You're getting good content. The Aberdeen Silvercats. Ooh, I need to get my bleep button ready.
You might not be wrong about that.
No, I'll be ready. But yeah, you're right. We'll go to youth, Greg. I think we had, I believe it was the under 16s championship and plate brackets. So in the plate bracket, we had the Inverclyde Phoenix, the Dunfermline Kings Youth, and the Grangemouth Colts Juniors. They were competing for the plate bracket. I can't quite remember how I think, did they play each other just the once? Is it once they played each other? Twice? No, it was once, twice.
Or twice.
Twice. I was looking at the numbers going, the numbers don't quite add up right, and there's a game missing as well. So the Inverclyde Phoenix, they ended up winning the plate bracket with 4 wins and no losses. So congratulations to the Inverclyde Phoenix. Always good to watch them play, and their coach is pretty good as well. So have a wee bit of banter with them when I'm refereeing sometimes. And then Kings Youth and Colts Juniors, Scooter. There's a game missing. Do we know what the final result was? I don't know whether the Colts.
The last game they did, the Colts actually won it.
There you go. Cool. So they both ended 1-3.
Yeah.
Lovely jubbly. And then onto the plate, we had the Lancashire Bombers, the Glasgow Tigers, and the Glasgow Youth. We had our Mr. Cameron Disco Wilson on the coaching duties. So Cammy was out coaching in Glasgow again on that day. Glasgow Youth came up 0-4, and it was between the Glasgow Tigers and the Lancashire Bombers, who both ended with a 3-1 record. Now, I'm going to presume that the Lancashire Bombers, did they win outright? I'd presume was there a tiebreaker involved here? I should really know this.
I have no idea. However, the information that I got was, or the only message I have had from Bez was that the Bombers won it, and then like a question mark after it.
Yeah, because I don't understand.
Chooses its words very carefully. I think there must be something there, so it'll be interesting to see.
So there is. So the Bombers won the first game 20-8. So for me, that's a 12-point gap, yeah? The other game was Glasgow Tigers beat the Bombers 21-7. Now, that is a bigger gap. And if you were to do aggregate scores of whatever to create the difference, Glasgow Tigers technically had the better points difference. So technically...
We had +2 for the head-to-head.
Correct. Question mark and asterisk. But congratulations to all the under-16 football players that took part in a stellar Winter League. We will refer you to your...
check the numbers, we'll get back to you.
Yeah, we'll check it and we'll respond. You can message Tom at...
Tom ABC.
There you go, that's the one. That's cheers, Greg. I knew it was in there somewhere. We can message him, he could tell us what the script is. But yeah, you're right. I think something happened there, but I'm not too sure. But who cares, man? It was a really sort of showcase for the talent of flag football. Like the Tigers, they have some incredible athletes in that under-16 squad. Which are obviously going to sort of set the precedence for us going in the future. Hopefully, Glasgow, obviously, it's just nice to see them have a youth programme now. I know there's something happened there as well, but again, we won't get into the politics of flag football in Scotland. But again, that sets them up for the future, and obviously the Colts as well, a pathway into the sort of Grangemouth, pipeline. So there's lots of really good stuff in there. I think there's room to grow it. And I think youth flag football in Scotland has only got a place to keep growing, keep getting better. I think through Youngie and Scoff, there's a lot of projections for things to grow it through summer events and stuff like that. So hopefully we're going to keep growing this. This is the first year he's done it, so only way is up, right? So good luck to Youngie and the gang. Hopefully they can continue to grow Scoff and junior flag football in Scotland. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. But we'll come back to Winter League maybe next time.
I thought you were meaning there's only one way to go from Winter League, and that's up. And I was like, that's a fantastic sort of summary of your tenure of Winter League.
No, I'll be back next year. Don't worry. This year was a little bit of a hiatus just to kind of get myself sorted.
I thought you were just saying that the way you ran it was absolutely shambolic, but hey.
Well, thanks, Greg. It was all right. It was fine. I did fine. I did all right. I got it off the. I built the foundations for what it is today. I'll be back. I've said that to a few guys. I'll be back next year helping run it. I just had to take a wee bit of time out this year and do my own wee thing. But we'll see what happens next year. Eh? Year 6. Jesus Christ.
Year 6.
It'll be Winter League 6. That's crazy. But let's move on to the little wrap up. We've got about 10 minutes left, and we need to, make sure Bess hasn't got all day to edit this and annoy him all day on his Friday. Let's have a little talk about BAFA, Greg, and your homework that Bess sent you a few weeks ago, which has not been completed, Greg. You're a very bad boy. You've not got your homework in on time.
What are you talking about?
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
It's clearly complete. I just decided not to reveal it.
Didn't want to hand it in.
Well, although WhatsApp says it's end-to-end encrypted, there seems to be a lot of WhatsApp message leaks on the internet these days. So I just didn't want that messages getting out there without my consent. So
don't worry, I'm sure there's some AI engine out there. Greg's got you on some nice pictures. So We'll get them shared soon. But since we have Scooter, obviously from Grangemouth, and Greg, you've not done yours yet, we thought we'd fill in at the end of the show our little BAFA predictor for this year and have a little round up from you gentlemen about what your thoughts are about where you think things are going to obviously go this year, just to get a little bit of spice and, keep Bez happy as well. I think me and Bez have done it, so we'll get your guys' thoughts. So we'll probably start... we'll let Scooter start. Do you want to start Div 1 or Prem? Who do you want to annoy first?
A tough question, eh? Start wherever you guys want. Where do you want to start? What's best?
I'm helping you out by chucking in there's the Prem into our little chat. So just in case you missed any teams out.
What a guy. So
no particular order as well.
Sure. If you got the Broncos winning the league and the Distiller second, mate, that's on you. No worries. Greg, are you got a preference, Prem or Div 1? Where do you want to lead on first?
No, absolutely no preference.
Nah.
I'll take the lead off of Scooter whenever he's got.
Right, we'll go. I'll make the decision then. Let's go Prem first. Since you boys are both in the Prem, we are both the most knowledgeable about the whole shenanigans of that league. We'll start from 6th and we'll just work our way up to the top. Who do you guys have in at the bottom of your Prem at the end of 2024? And then we'll work our way back up the way. Who are you saying is going to have the unfortunate year in BAFA 2024 in the HNC Prem, guys? Who's your 6th place team?
Be specific here.
Start with you, Greg. We'll just go up together. We'll give you both the 6, then the 5, then the 4, then the 3. If you want to justify it, you can justify it. If you don't, I'll make you justify it.
Well, you know what? I read the task. I've done my homework. I understand that he did say there has to be a why to this. So.
You can. You don't have to. We can save that for our blog that Greg Bez politely and kindly does for us. So if you want to get Greg's inner for deeper thoughts of this, you can head over to the website where you can read more. But you can just put it all in here. Go for it, Greg. Give us it. Who you got?
I am going with the Raptors.
Ooh, okay.
Now, the reason for this is I've put 6 next to their name, really. I'm kind of looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, the top 3-4 teams I think are fairly set here. I think with the Distillers coming up, they've got a couple of decent sort of athletes within their team. They've got a unique style of playing. There's going to be a few sort of learning sort of adjustments for them, certainly coming into the Prem. But I think the way that they play, they might still be able to score a few points and they might be able to upset some teams on the way. Yep. So I think that's going to be the difference between the two teams. I think it's defensively, I think they both might struggle. But I think offensively, the Distillers might just have a little bit more unpredictability about them, which could work in their favour. There
you go. So you went the same as I did. I put Raptors in 6 as well. So don't stress. Not just you. Scott, Mr. Scooter, where are you leaning on your 6th position team?
I think it's going to be the Distillers.
Ooh, okay.
First time coming up to the Prem, it's going to be tough for them, I think. The Raptors have been up before and they kind of know what to expect. But yeah, it'll be tough for the Distillers. I think defensively especially they'll struggle.
Yeah, I've seen their playbook offensively too, and I hope they develop it for the Prem. I don't think it's a Prem level playbook too, interestingly. Might be a bit of a horrible take, but I think there's a lot of, you're right, there's a lot of inexperience at Prem level. Although they do have guys like Dave in there, like Dave Underwood's obviously going to put a lot of experience to bring to the table. So there's a lot of things they could probably learn quickly, but I think you're right. I think the experience might matter. And I don't know, what's the travel going to be like? Is that going to play a factor? Long distance travels? Are they going to be put off by that? I don't know.
I don't think it really affected them in previous years.
Has it?
So I'm not really going to put that down as an effect. I think I think it's not even going to be the games against each other this year. I think the conference might be a massive sort of difference maker. You look at the teams that we've got in the cross conference this year. you're always looking to see which bandits kind of travel. The Revs could be pretty interesting. Scorpions are normally, they're all going to be really good contests between that sort of level. So it's very much that cross conference, I think, might actually make a difference this year.
There you go. Hot takes. Now I'm going to guess your 5th place positions, guys, are basically the opposites of each other. So I'm going to guess Greg, number 5 is the Outlaws, yeah? That'll be the Distillers.
Yeah, I've went with the Distillers there. So I mean that's into playoff position, isn't it? So they would have to go into a playoff.
Oh, the playoff relegation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, playoff relegation. I thought you meant playoffs as in up, and I'm like, oh Jesus. No, playoff relegation. You're correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that'll give them I've got them down as having a chance to save themselves and stay in the Prem for another year. It's maybe harsh on Coach Mark and what have you down at Renfrew, but they can always put it as bulletin board material and show me wrong. Happy to be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Certainly won't be the last.
Nope. Happy to clip and ship it and be part of some content. If this is the motivation they need, Greg, let's give it to them.
Exactly.
Scooter, are you Raptors in 5?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's been the constant little kind of battle that we've had even in our group chats is exactly the same thing. I think we're the Distillers and Raptors, I'd love them to be able to be competing cross-conference, but the cross-conference this year I think is going to be probably the most challenging it's been in a while. And again, the level of football I think is getting very, very even. For the other than the top 2 things I'd say, but from about 3rd, 4th, 5th kind of competitive, 5th, 6th, 7th top Prem, top Div 1, there's wee bands forming. So I think you're right. The Raptors are one of those bubble teams, and I think the Distillers might be the same. Number 4, Greg, who you got coming in your wee 4th position there?
So I've got the Edinburgh Outlaws.
Outlaws.
I think they'll have a fairly steady season.
Yeah. Playoff bound? Think you'll get playoffs again? In the 4th position?
I think this comes down to how they're approaching it. They kind of shot. This is going to sound harsh, and I apologise straight away before I've even done it. But they kind of shot themselves in the foot last year because obviously they weren't sure as to what Mats was going to be up to, and he's ended up sticking around. So they went with Liam for a fair bit at quarterback because they were preparing for life without him. Now, I don't think Liam will be too upset if I say that Mats is a better quarterback. And if he goes in at quarterback, they might well be able to find a decent bit of form, and we'll be able to kind of see them going back to that sort of offense where we're able to score quite well in opposition.
Yeah.
And if they're able to tighten things up on defense, they might well surprise me and go higher than 4th. But it very much comes down to themselves, really. What sort of version of the offense we see, and if they can make those improvements on the defense as well. They've got the gunslinger side of things as well, which will obviously take a little bit of focus, coaching wise. But they've got the players there, who are able to see a little bit more potential, or they've got the potential. Sorry, we can see them growing into that potential, and really challenging to try and make it into that sort of top 3. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how they go this year.
Oh, I agree. I'm right there with you. I think I had them in 4th as well. Is Mr. Scooterman there?
Aye.
Oh, there he is. Where are you leading?
I think Edinburgh as well in that 4th spot. They've got a really good group of players. If they can put it all together, they're a tough team, and they can again challenge for playoffs like they have before.
Yeah. I think coming back to the cross conference conversation again, that's often where their benefit comes from, is those wins in cross conference, or to get some that advantage. I think if Matt's is quarterback and they get the cross conference wins, they'll be there or thereabouts. Is Matt staying? Do we know? Have we got a Matt's interrogator? Has he got an agent that we can speak to?
I've not spoken to him recently.
Yeah,
but
same.
The whole thing about it was meant to have been sort of, June last year, and then he's kind of still there, playoffs and what have you. So I would take it as he's going to be around for the foreseeable.
I'll take that as an answer. We'll take that.
Which is not a bad thing, because it's always great to look across the field and see someone as handsome as him.
Oh, and I throw it like butter. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's exactly, yeah.
It's beautiful. Right, 3, Greg. Who we got?
So it's got, for me, it's the Oil Cats.
Right, okay.
It pains me saying it, but you've got to kind of go in the past years. I think last year, our games against the top teams, I think against the Broncos, both of them incredibly high scoring, and I think they were, 1-2 score games, despite, it's just me kind of going into it a little bit, but despite us kind of
that's all right.
in terms of interceptions and the Broncos scoring on defense, which they're going to do because the Broncos have got a really good defense.
Their QB's not too bad either.
Yeah, the offense isn't too bad. So it'll be interesting to see in terms of the approach this year, if we're able to make that step up to really start challenging the two teams above us, to really try and make inroads into that and put a little bit more pressure on them, because it's getting annoying being the almost men of this division, and we need to kind of start pulling the finger out, really.
Yeah. So this could be it. This could be the year, Greg. This could be it. The Aberdeen effect. Let's see if we can make it happen. Now, I'm gonna presume that Scott's obviously picking the Glasgow Hornets for 3. Gonna presume. Are you going Oil Cats as well?
I'm going to go Oil Cats as well.
Oil Cats as well, yeah. No worries. Yeah. I guess we're getting very samey at this point. However, this is the business end, Greg. Give me your 1 and 2.
I mean, I kind of touched on it earlier. You've got to go on previous. So despite having two Grangemouth players sat in front of me,
I'm so sorry, Scott. I'm sorry, Scott. I tried.
Still going with the Glasgow Hornets at 1, and I think the rich just get richer. If they're bringing James in at wide receiver as well, who we've seen at a couple of tournaments recently, it's another incredible offensive weapon. That if Nicky's fit and healthy in time, then you've got that defense. You've got another addition at wide receiver that they're more focused, not necessarily on even winning the HNC, because that is,
they'll get to playoffs.
But they're more looking at that national championship, and that is their main focus. They're not too concerned about the likes of the Aberdeen Oil Cats are.
Yeah. I do worry about Nicky. I hope he's okay. And then they got I think Kaz is left, and then I think Jason's leaving as well. So there's a couple guys that are kind of moving out those ranks a little bit too. Though there's a little bit of change, but we'll see how they handle that as we get on. But I know things, Greg. I know little things.
You do know things. I did not know about
there's things. There's things. I believe they are, but I've not seen it on Playways yet. But
are they hanging around the sport, or are they?
I am not in a position to say what club they're going to. Mr. Skinner, though. Moving on swiftly from that one, Greg. Where's your 1 and 2?
Like Greg said, until somebody beats the Hornets in the regular season.
No, don't tell me this, Scooter. Don't tell me. Don't make me write. No.
Until somebody beats them in the regular season, they've got to be number 1 in the rankings.
Okay.
Tree's so disappointed. He's not even angry. Look at him. He's just heartbroken.
I'm just,
If you wanted hot takes, you should have gone something else.
The next time we're getting Matty Ross.
All right, well, we'll get. Matty will have the Broncos getting relegated. Jesus. No, I get it.
Style, and you'll be going to the relegation playoff and staying in an absolute bubble.
Mustangs or Colts versus Broncos promotion relegation. Oh my goodness, it'll be mayhem. I mean, yeah, I get where you're coming from, Scoot. I think it's a safe bet. Like they've been top of the league for a while. We know that they're strong. They're going to be there. My hope is, I would really love you guys to either split this series, or make it matter. Like where it's like 1 and 2 seeds, like last game day thing. You know, that'd be pretty exciting. And then see even the Hornets lose a couple times, and really make it a bit spicier. But yeah, I think I'm all right with that. You know, I'll take it, Skewer.
Yeah,
I'm all right with it. You know, I'll deal with it.
Your tree.
Honestly, I thought for a wee minute there, Scooter, I almost thought you were going to say the Broncos at number 1. I'm not even disappointed. That's all. I love your reality of it. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not pessimist. It's realist. Is it pessimist? Optimist? Pessimist. Pessimistic. I don't really know. Someone else can.
No.
This is where I need Bez. Right. Div 1, you know, the most electric league in flag football, gentlemen. We'll get through this one quickly. I know I'm a little bit over where I'm meant to be. Greg, yep. So we'll start at the bottom, work our way up quickly, because I am acutely aware that we're running way over time. So we'll start with Scooter this time. Div 1, who is in your last place position? You've got the Chargers, Colts, Comets, Gunslingers, Killer Bees, Mustangs, and Silvers to pick from.
I think it's going to be the Gunslingers.
Gunslingers.
Yeah.
Again,
Tough one for.
I can't remember
I've
what I
not
had.
seen the team, but yeah.
I think I had the same, actually, the Gunslingers. Greg, where are you leaning?
I'm in this sort of thing of obviously the Gunslingers are potentially that sort of thing. I don't know what the Mustangs look like.
I love this. Say it how it is, Greg. Just say it how you know, and then create some spice.
I've not been around for a little bit, so I've not seen what they are. So I'm going to cave. I'm going to change last second. I'll go with Gunslingers last. I'm going.
Okay.
You know, Skewer's been a realist, and he's not putting the Mustangs down there. So unless he's had a last minute optimism change of heart, then I'm wavering.
Yeah, the Mustangs are going to be interesting. Let's just say that they're going to be okay. 6th then, Skewer. We'll just kind of run through that. 6 now. Who's next in for you?
I'm going to go Comets.
Same as me. So far, I feel like I've done. You have obviously not seen my list, Scooter. So far, we're 100% so far on the basically. Everything apart from, I think Greg and I so far are 100%, but you got the Distillers and Raptors round the wrong way, but we won't talk about it. We're almost the same.
This will be where we change.
Oh, okay. Who we got? Who you got in 6th?
As I say, because I have absolutely no idea. I've got the Mustangs down here.
Okay.
I think generally speaking, when new teams come into the league, there is normally a little bit of a learning curve. I appreciate that. Part of this sort of new team coming in is Tree's going to be moving across to the Colts, so it's not necessarily a new quarterback to Div 1, so there's going to be less of that steep learning curve. I'm just kind of looking at what else is kicking about there.
They're very youthful. Let me just tell you that, and I'm very jealous of their youth. I'm just going to leave it at that. Oh, honestly, like they're young, athletic, fast, and then
they're everything we used to be.
Yeah. So they'll I think they'll surprise people, but yeah, we'll get the Mustangs for Greg in 6. You know, that's good.
I've said it already tonight. I'll be wrong plenty times. I'm happy to be proven wrong.
We'll take it. Cool. 5 for Mr. Scooter. A tough one now.
It's a tough one. I'm going to go Mustangs here.
Okay.
I'm not going to say about them.
All that's matter that the Colts are above the Mustangs. Scooter said it here. Exclusive breaking news. Clip it, ship it. Put it in my back pocket. Love it. There we go. That's fine. Who you got, Greg? Who you got coming in with your 5 pick, mate?
Right. You've said it already. This is where things start getting really difficult.
It does, really.
You know, looking at the complexion of the Comets tail end last year. Now, I have no idea what, if Bud's involved with it, if he's coming back from injury, because obviously he'd hurt himself last year,
It
hadn't
was
he?
his Achilles, I think it was. Yeah.
So I have no idea what the sort of stage. If it's the group that we've seen for like the majority of last season, without Bud and without Paz,
Chrissy Lang as well.
I'll have the Comets in 5th, please.
Got you.
If obviously that's just down to personnel wise.
It really is.
If those guys come in, then they will be up there challenging, and it could be one of these things where it varies from game day to game day. So it could be a case of some people's promotion prospects are ruined by coming up against the team on a day.
Yeah, they rock up and they're there with their key guys. Like, even if you just have Bud, you are immediately better. That's a rough
especially
one.
especially in that sort of environment.
Aye.
Having that sort of experience and what have you can be fantastic there. So I'll stick with that for now.
Stick with that one. Cool. Right, we're into the mid to top level potential playoff contention at this point. 4, Mr. Scooter. This is where it gets a bit even spicier again.
It's horrible, isn't it?
It's not nice.
Div one's a nightmare.
And they'll never let you live this down as well. Like this will stick with you for years, picking teams in the wrong positions. Trust me. We still don't let Tom think. I forget it.
Well, I was going to say we don't even let Tom on the show anymore.
No.
I'm probably going to put the Silver Cats here.
Ooh, spicy.
It's a league win.
Okay.
Cool. I don't hate it either.
The Winter League champions going straight in mid-table.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Love it.
For me, I'm going to go with the Chargers at 4.
Okay. Yeah. Good pick. Yeah, I can see them.
We've seen a bit of improvement with them in the past couple of years, which is really promising.
Yeah.
I think 4th is actually. I'd need to go back and have a look. Not entirely sure where they finished last year, but 4th is when you look at what there is elsewhere there. You've got the Colts with obviously your experience there, Tree, and obviously the coaching of the Broncos sort of set up. You're then looking at the Killer Bees, who going by what they've shown at Ironman there. When you've got Alan Young involved in a team, they're going to be organised. They're going to be competitive. So that's going to be something that they'll have to come up against, or everyone in that league's going to have to come up against and actually overcome. It's not a case of turn up and beat them. You're going to have to find ways to actually go out and beat them properly. And then I've got the Silver Cats. I'll be a bit of a homer with them, but there's a lot of promise there, and we've had a lot of sort of new players coming to that team last year. So you're hoping for that sort of year 2, sort of year 3, sort of learning to really start to
take that next level.
Yeah. So that's the reason why I'm not able to put the Chargers higher. But they've got potential there.
They've got potential to be that bubble playoff team, just making it in this year. I think they'll be just kind of there or thereabouts. Cross conference again, key. Pick up a few wins, and they might see them there or thereabouts. Right, top 3, gentlemen. This is we'll go 3 for each, and then we'll go top 2 just together. So Scooter.
Yep.
3rd, just outside the promotion battle. Who have we got in 3rd?
I've got Chargers there.
I like it. Okay.
Chargers in 3.
Again, continuing improvement every year, getting better. Beating the Silver Cats.
Love
it. Love the content. I love it. Any other further justifications, Scooter?
No,
good.
Just getting better.
Cool,
Winter League, they struggle a bit, but I think they've got some talent there, and they should be all right.
Cool. I like it. Mr. Greg, your 3rd place team, please, sir.
I have got the Killer Bees.
Oh.
Now, for me, the Killer Bees could be a team that challenges for promotion. I think there's absolutely no doubt that that's the case. I do have questions as to whether that's what they would want to be the outcome, which is why I'm going to put them in at this 3. Is
Interesting.
Keeping them in that sort of hunt where they're winning, they're developing, but they're not wanting to move up.
Just a game day where holidays and flu come up. The flu game. Yeah.
My hamstrings.
Okay.
But as I say, when you've got like Alan Young involved, you've got obviously Ainsley there. You've got there's a good bit of talent. You've got Willie, who's obviously experienced in Div 1, incredibly competitive person as well. So he's going to, whether it's keeping people at a standard that's required.
Oh yeah.
They're going to be winning more games than they're losing in that division. So.
Oh, unbelievable! Yeah, and then Ainsley and Abbey, just a little bit of GB talent thrown into the mix just to spice things up. Yeah, they'll be good.
Absolutely,
they'll be good. Right, takes us to our top 2. Then, Mr. Scooter, give us it to wrap up the show for today. Well, we said 10 minutes about 10 minutes ago now, but this is juicy and spicy, and we get a wee banter. Who is your 1 and 2, Mr. Scooter, for your Div 1 for 2024? Who are you going number 2 and number 1?
Number 2, I'm going the Glasgow Killer Bees.
I love this, Scooter. I could just give you a big cuddle and just a smooch. I know where you're going. Who's your number 1 then, Scooter? I wonder. See?
Yeah, these Grangemouth Colts.
Those old bunch of guys with the highest average age in the league by an absolute mile. Thank you very much, Neely, Jimmy Thompson, and then the rest of the guys for bringing the average age up. Yeah, nice pick, Scooter. Again, quarterback's not too bad, isn't he? It's all right. Yeah, it's all right. You should guide him. Yeah, that guy, right? As I get subbed immediately after the first drive for Neely. And then Mr. Greg Sim. Let's see your 1 and 2 as well.
So I told you I was going to be a bit of a homer. So in 1, I have the Grangemouth Colts.
In 1? Oh, Greggy boy! Let's go! And Silvercats in 2. There we go. Okay. Now, screw you guys for putting all the pressure on. I didn't like that. I was hoping, I put us at 3rd. And you guys are nah, Colts win. Screw you guys, man. All right, okay.
There we go. Your X's and O's, and that's a massive thing to have in D1. So it's going to be one of those things, especially the way those Grangemouths drilled. You're going to be up there challenging.
Yeah, there's so much experience. That's the difference, Greg, in the squads. Is the Mustangs are relatively young, athletic, quick, but they lack experience in some parts. They're quite early. But if you look across to the Colts, that's the one major difference, is just the sheer experience across the board with a lot of the guys. It's not a bad problem to have, I guess.
But the thing being is because it's one big squad, really, when you're training, and imagine that some of it's pretty mixed anyway, so you're going to have that benefit of training alongside your more experienced players and what have you. So they're going to learn quick.
Yeah, it's been. I won't go into the inner workings of training and what's been going on so far. I won't give anything away, but it's been interesting. We're getting there. I think the playbook is developing quite well. We've got a little bit of work to do before the start of the season, Greg. But yeah, I think we'll be competitive. I think that's probably the key.
It's going to be a good season in Div 1, as always. Rightly calling it the most electric league
it really
in flag
is.
football.
The top 4, I'd say, could go literally any direction on any given game day. That's the big thing about Div 1. It could... Who knows?
Well, funnily enough, you say that. I will do a little reveal in that I actually just do the homework right here on a bit of paper right here. And there's a lot of scoring out and redoing the numbers as I was going along. So it is very much a case of anything can happen on any day and it will have a massive effect on how the league ends up. And, one of the big things is that cross-conference. Because it is so unpredictable with Div 1 because of who travels, who doesn't. And, it can have such a huge impact on that sort of playoff race.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a major factor for a lot of squads this year. It's been the same for years. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Well, everyone and boys and girls, if you have survived this long in the episode, Well done. We have been a doozy today. I said it was going to be short, and I'm going to apologise to you guys. We were here all night. But we get to talk about flag football with friends, so that's all that matters. And we keep some people, their ear holes entertained for a little bit while they're working on a Friday or a Saturday or whenever Bez gets around to doing this.
Surely, since we've got Scooter here, one of the things we used to ask people was, and this was before Tree arrived really, was to talk about a highlight of their flag football career. So someone is distinguished and as well travelled as yourself, what for you has been, a massive sort of flag football highlight that you kind of come back to and think, you know what, that right there was just incredible, and kind of it almost inspires you to try and make your way back to that sort of high.
Oh, tough one. Well, it's probably, what is it, 2018 maybe, the plate final with the Broncos. We went down with 6 players. One of them got injured. We ended up playing the last 2 games with 5 players and won the plate. It was brilliant. I had to play defence that day. But
Making your case again.
Plate champions, defence, Scooter. I mean, we're filling it up for you.
No, just winning the plate with that small squad, but having players on the sideline as well, our teammates on the sideline cheering us on was great, and it's always been one of my favourite memories with the Broncos.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. There is that sort of thing when you feel as if you're fully up against everything, Just when you manage to win out against that, it has a special sort of feeling, doesn't it?
Absolutely, aye.
Okay, no, fantastic.
Good one to have.
Thank you very much for that.
I guess thanks so much for Scooter for, it's an hour and 34 minutes, which is a little bit longer than the 45 minutes to half an hour that I originally planned for. But that's what happens when we get flag friends together talking flag nonsense. So it's all groovy. So thank you very much, Scooter, for hopping on with us. And I guess we wish you the best of luck for this up and coming season. I know that I will see you at training at the weekend. It'll be nice to see how the Broncos get on, and let's see if they can get over that final wee hurdle. Let's see what we can get them this year, because you've hyped me up now, Scooter. I'm ready to play flag now. But I said I'm ready. Let's go. But it'll be great to see the Broncos and see if they can take that step. So good luck to you and the guys.
Oh, thanks very much, man, and cheers for having me on.
Oh, very welcome. Very welcome. Pleasure to have us with us, aye. So I guess that's kind of it. Any last words, Mr. Gregson, before we...
Well, you know what? So something happened at flagging New Year. So basically, as I arrived, Alan Mead, obviously of the Manchester Titans, and coaching of one of the coaches at GB, told me he had a present for me.
Oh.
Which, if you've ever been told, oh, by the way, I've bought you a present out of the blue, is always a terrifying prospect, because you're like, well, it's not my birthday. Like, what has prompted this gift giving, and what's it going to be?
Aye.
So what he has given me is this. I appreciate
yes.
that you will not be able to see what I've put on screen, but it is the Little Book of Dad Jokes. Now, this is probably because of the fact that I can never, ever, ever think of a joke when prompted. And when I do manage to think of a joke, they are generally awful. So there
we go. This is your spot, Greg. Give it to our community. What have you got for today?
We have 191 pages, 192 pages here. So I'll leave it up to our guest for the evening. What page would you like me to read from?
Let's go number 83.
83. So we're almost there. 83. What word is always spelled wrong in the dictionary?
No idea.
Wrong.
Yeah.
I have a book, yet the standard of joke has not improved.
It's quality. Oh, Greg. Well, on that note, thank you very much, Greg. Thank you very much, Greg. Thank you very much, everyone who's tuned with us. I always forget how Ben says bye to us all, but do you know how it goes, Greg?
It's goodbye from you.
Oh, it's a goodbye from me. Goodbye, me. A goodbye from Greg Sin. And a goodbye from Mr. Scooter.
Hi, guys.
Cheers, everyone. That's been the way we HN see it. Outro. I better stop recording.
Remember that you can be sure to never miss an episode of The Way We HN See It by subscribing on whatever platform you listen on and ensuring that you leave us a couple of stars as a review. To be honest, we're not entirely sure what that does, but if you enjoy the show, give us some decent stars and tell your friends. And if you don't enjoy the show, then feel completely free to tell nobody about it. You tried, you didn't like it, but hey, at least you tried and at least we got here. And to be honest, you must have liked it a little bit because at the end of the show, you're still listening. Speak soon, everyone. Have a great week.